Let's move on to Giants at Colts. They will be cutting this game out. Open Colts -9. It has stayed. Total opened at 47, now 46.5 across the board. Giants are coming off being shut out 17-0 at home by the Titans. We talked about Barkley being shut down. Eli Manning finished 21 of 44 for 229 yards. How these stories are coming out, oh, yeah, we want to keep Eli Manning next year. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was reading. What absolutely ludicrous. I don't see any possible way he's behind center for these Giants or for any team in the NFL. And listen to this, we don't want him in Canada either, so find some other place to play. Giants center Spencer Pulley left in the second half with a calf injury. Odell Beckham missed his second straight game with a quad problem. Colts are coming off their most impressive win of the season, 23-0 home over the Cowboys, now won 7 of 8. Mac with the Giants day. This is improved defense. Wow, this Colts defense allowed 27 points over the past 3 games, and that's against good teams. I mean, Texans and Cowboys and tough teams. This is a dangerous Colts squad. Luck not having to do too much. Remember, beginning of the year, he has to throw 50 passes a day. Now he's 16 of 27 for 192 yards. T.Y. Hilton, 5 passes for 85 yards. The guy, he's been dealing with an illness. He's been dealing with an ankle injury. This magical Luck-Hilton combination just continues to roll, as do the Colts. But this is a big spread, -9. What are you thinking here earlier in the week, Donnie?
Yeah, I mean, look, I like the Giants fight. They didn't give up in the Titans game. They just weren't good enough. You know, the rain's coming down. You have the aging, decrepit quarterback. They look like they weren't interested in the game. You have your best wide receiver down. And the Titans really took the fight to the Giants, and they couldn't get out of their own way. At least it's going to be a little bit more conducive environment to scoring for them. But I can see almost the same type of game plan. Do you want to step in front of Indianapolis at home right now, a team fighting for their life to try to get into the playoffs, which a team that's talking about, yeah, I don't know if I want to shut down Eli Manning. I don't know if I want to shut down Odell Beckham. We'll see how it goes later in the week. This is a football team traveling into Indianapolis just saying to myself, you know what? It doesn't matter if we win in this football game. Like, I'm just trying to preserve and get through week 17 and be healthy for the offseason because nothing matters. You know what matters in Indianapolis? We got to win this football game. I think it's a similar type of result to what you saw last week, which the Cowboys are much more equipped at dealing with the Indianapolis team. Indianapolis' offense should go up and down the field versus the Giants with very little resistance. You know, Marlon Mack healthy again. He looks great. Ran against a tough front seven. That offensive line is really coming back into play, especially since Kelly came back at center. T.Y. Hilton, you know, they said he was banged up. Game time decision was running by that team left and right, making big plays, causing havoc in the secondary. And I see a lot more, but you do see it. You say, boy, 9 seems like a lot of points. If Indianapolis wins this game, it's going to be by double digits.
Yeah, I have to think that's the case. 9 points. Some great notes coming from the chat, especially Nick O says, Giants can't run against Colts. Look what they just did to Zeke. Absolutely right. I guess maybe I'm kind of reading this wrong because I did think that the under was appealing, and I could understand this half-point move. I don't think the Giants are going to put up many points, but when you say the Colts are going to be moving up and down the field, would that take you off of the under?
That would take me off of the under. Now, normally looking at the Giants, they're not a big play offense, and especially, Jimmy, you have to wait because if Odell Beckham doesn't come back, the Giants are not a big play offense, and you think they would lean more on the running game, more on the short screens because that's all they have. Their deep threat, their most electric guy you don't have to worry about. Now you can roll coverage to other areas that you might, not be able to do if Odell Beckham was playing in this game. But on the opposite side, I think Indianapolis is going to look. If you don't have the Giants or the Dallas Cowboys have a great front four and get a ton of pressure. And you would figure that they would be the ones that would hold up against a tough offensive line and say, look, you're not going to run the ball and bully us around. They were bullied by Indianapolis. I can't wait to see what that Indianapolis front line does to that weak Giants front line. There's not very many playmakers in that front seven. And who's checking T.Y. Hilton? I just can see one of those games, Jimmy, where Indianapolis is in the 30s in this game. We just have to see what kind of effort you're going to get out of the New York Giants.
Wow, so after that talk, maybe stay off of the unders all told, even the Giants team total under, maybe the Colts team total over is the most appealing play. I love that breakdown. Looking forward to hammer this all week and then hit this again on Friday. But that is that of the full game over, full game under, Giants team total under or over, Colts team total under or over? Is the Colts team total over the most appealing out of all 6 of those?
I like that. I think it is because I don't see much resistance out of the New York Giants. I really don't because the Colts aren't going to come in here and just say, well, we'll run the ball 55 times. I mean, Frank Wright's an aggressive coordinator calling plays. They're going to take their shots deep, and there's not much back there that can stop you. I think a lot of, you're going to have a big game out of the tight end because the linebackers aren't that athletic for the New York Giants. You're going to be able to bully that front line as long as you slow down Olivier Vernon. Andrew Luck can sit back there all day. It's just, there's not a lot to like if you're lining up and trying to take the Giants in this football game.
Oh, it's a great breakdown. This is love this stuff, Donnie. I absolutely love this stuff so much. I did not see the Colts as a team total over before we did that. That's the beauty of this show. Now it's a shining light screaming at me.
It's
beautiful.
A good one.
Let's move on to. Yeah, I like it. Let's move on and let's get through this game quickly. Jags at Dolphins. And shout out to our guys here in the chat. I'm sorry we don't have enough time to talk to you guys enough. This show could easily be 2 hours, and it almost is on Fridays. But shout out to Rural Video. It says best betting show, lost one teaser in 4 weeks. Great stuff, guys. Acoustic Library giving shouts out for the Panthers plus 6.5. Just love you guys so much. Okay, Jaguars, Dolphins. Let's get through this quickly. Dolphins open minus 3.5 now, a mix of minus 4s and 4.5s. It's a Sunday in Miami, so nice weather. 73 Fahrenheit, low 64, wind 9 miles per hour. Total open at 39.5. You can get it from anywhere between 38.5 and 39.5. Jaguars have lost 9 of 10. Do we really have to watch Cody Kessler for another week? It's unbelievable that they're doing this. It's like they have a disdain for their own fans. 9 of 17, 57 yards with a pick. Oh, God, 1 touchdown drive and 31 possessions. The team managed 192 yards. This is horrifying. I don't want to watch this anymore. Jacksonville's leading rusher because Fournette had only 46 yards. I mean, how easy is it to put 8 in the box against this squad? Ronnie Harris injured his left knee, which sucked because Jared Wilson came in to replace him, and then he left with a leg injury. This is just not the Jaguars squad. Can you believe that this is a 4-10 Jaguars squad we're talking about? Unbelievable. Dolphins coming off ugly 41-17 loss, 30-plus points for the 6th game this season they've given up, 400-plus yards for the 9th time this year. Tannehill looked terrible. Balazs came in, 123 yards. Gore got hurt. Fitzpatrick looked okay, I guess. Xavier Howard is just so important to this team. Any early feels on this ugly game between the Jaguars and Dolphins, Donnie?
Yeah, I don't think the Miami Dolphins necessarily gave up last week. I just think they were in a really bad spot. That was a perfect situation for Minnesota to get right, and they did. That was the healthiest team that you're going to see on the field late in the season for the Vikings, so you got their best punch. And say what you want. You had a team that got down 21-0 early and fought back, so it wasn't like they just rolled over and got pasted 42-0. They just didn't have the talent here. And here's what I want to say about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, we're reading tea leaves again into the locker room, and they're asking questions to Jalen Ramsey about, hey, Coach Doug Marrone, what do you think? Yeah, I really don't care about Coach. I care about myself right now. That says a lot about the mentality for the Jacksonville Jaguars because on defense, they're relatively healthy and not playing the best. I mean, they did play good last week, so don't get me wrong, but their mindset is completely wrong. If you have Blake Bortles, if they said this today, Blake Bortles is going to start this weekend, I would take the Jacksonville Jaguars with the points getting 4, and I would love that play. But if you're going to run Cody Kessler out there, and then you're going to put it on record saying, we're going to put Leonard Fournette on a pitch count the rest of the year because we just don't want to get him injured. So this offense is going to be 100% absolutely anemic going on the road again. So I'm hoping that it's one of those things where Blake Bortles is in his contract, like if he gets hurt, then they still have to pay him for like another year. So that's the only reason why they're not putting him in football games, because they're deliberately tanking and trying to lose games. Now we're going on the road and say what you want. Miami Dolphins play well at home. They haven't quit on the season. Yes, Frank Gore is a big loss in the locker room, but they have capable running backs that can come in. As long as they can protect Tannehill a little bit in this football game, Miami Dolphins should win this game by 7+ points. The only thing I'm worried about is if Blake Bortles makes a return, because the Jacksonville Jaguars will be live in this game. As long as Kessler is at quarterback, they can't move the football, and Miami should be able to move the football and get some points. Dolphins by a touchdown early in the week for me.
That's such a good point, because I would jump all over the Dolphins immediately. But you're right. Mm-hmm. What if Bortles comes back? Is that an option? Are they talking about that, Donnie?
He says he would put him in the right situation, but you can see the marching orders, because no matter what happens in the NFL, people's jobs are on the line every single week. And if you're a head football coach and Tom Coughlin is telling you up top, like, Doug Marrone, you're going to be back next year, but we're not playing Blake Bortles. We can't have him get injured. So don't worry about it. Just play Cody Kessler and just see what happens. That's the only thing that I'm thinking is coming down, because Doug Marrone, I know a lot of people don't like him, but most NFL coaches aren't idiots. You're not going to have a record-setting, ridiculous streak over the past 3 weeks where you can't score touchdowns or even move the football and then say, well, our guy that we drafted in the first round a couple of years ago who can move the football, we're not even going to put him in the football game. There's something amiss in the front office where he's going to play. But I still want to read the tea leaves as the week goes on, because even if the line, Jimmy, creeps up to 5, 5.5, 6, I still have the Dolphins winning this game by a touchdown or more as long as Kessler plays.
Absolutely, as long as Kessler plays. Important not to make a move on this early in the week, because that is such an important point.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.